I'm happy that we have come together to counter the threat of delimitation being pushed by the union government. As per the guidance of our Honorable Chief Minister, I would like to share the impacts of the proposed delimitation exercise, particularly on the states that have effectively implemented the family planning policies recommended by the union government. I would like to highlight the 5 important areas in this presentation. The trend in the population growth. Number 2, the history of delimitation exercises. Number 3, the possible delimitation scenarios. Number 4, the impact on states like us. And number 5, the why we need to join hands right now. For decades, states present here have made significant efforts to control and manage the population growth. We introduced policies, raised awareness, and achieved what the nation aimed for, a stable population growth. While some other states continued to experience rapid population growth, we acted responsibly. As a result, we reached the population replacement rate much earlier than many other states. But instead of being rewarded for this achievement, we are now at the risk of losing our political representation. The green line in this graph clearly shows how effectively the states present here have controlled the population growth rate. On contrary, you can see the violet line, the population growth in other states have continued to rise post 1971. According to the Article 82 of the Indian Constitution, parliamentary seats should be adjusted after every census. Accordingly, the number of seats were increased from 494 to from 489 to 494 as per the census of 1951. This was then increased to 522 seats after the 1961 census. The last delimitation was done in 1973 based on the 1971 census, fixing the number of seats at 543, which is right now. To encourage the states that successfully implemented the population control program, the Constitution was amended earlier to freeze the delimitation exercise. The 42nd Amendment, enacted in the 1976, allowed the delimitation exercise to remain frozen for the next 25 years, that is till 2000. When this period was expired, the 84th Amendment was enacted in 2002, extending the freeze for another 25 years, that is till 2026. As we all know, the freeze implemented in 2002 is set to expire. So what will happen in 2026? The 2021 census, which was postponed due to COVID-19, has still not been done. Particularly, it is a strategy to implement the delimitation after the 2026. If they use the post-2026 census data, the allocation of Lok Sabha seats will change drastically. And here lies the danger. States with high population growth will gain more seats, while states like us, we will lose significant political representation. So far, the union government is reluctant to make any official statement on the continuation of the freeze imposed in 2002. In fact, there are contradicting statements from the Honorable Prime Minister and the Home Minister on delimitation, creating a lot of confusions. In September 2023, Honorable Union Home Minister Amit Shah said in the Parliament that the delimitation process would be implemented and seats would be increased. However, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, addressing an election rally in Telangana in 2023, said that if the delimitation exercise was implemented, southern states would lose around 100 seats. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister, who recently visited Coimbatore, claimed that Tamil Nadu will not be affected by this delimitation exercise. Therefore, the questions we have in front of us are, will the freeze be extended or not? Will the number of seats remain the same or will it increase? If increased, what will be the number? On what basis the seats will be distributed among the states? Whether it will be done as per the 1971 census or the proposed projected 2026 census. If the freeze is not extended, 2 scenarios are likely to occur. Number 1, the union government would do the delimitation exercise by keeping the current 543 seats but redistributing them based on the 2026 census. The scenario 2, alternatively, the seats may be increased to 848 and then distributed after the 2026 census. In both the cases, we will lose our representation significantly. The scenario 1, for example, if the existing 543 seats is retained and redistributed based on the 2026 projected population, what will happen? I would like to explain this with some data here. Today, the states present here contributes 30% of MPs in the parliament, with a total of 163 seats out of 543 in the Lok Sabha. If the delimitation is implemented, our seats will drop to 133 from 163, reducing our representation from 30% to 24%. For example, Kerala will lose 8 seats, which is right now around 20, they will conclude at 12. 20 minus 12 is 8, which is nearly 40% of their existing seats. In contrast, the number of seats for certain states will increase significantly. In case a scenario 2 happens, if the number of seats is increased to 848, what will we get? We might get some additional seats, but our overall representation will still decline to 24.7% from 30% again. For example, consider the case of Tamil Nadu. If 848 seats are redistributed based on the 1971 census, we should get 61 seats. However, as the projected population of 2026, we will get only 49 seats. Tamil Nadu alone will lose around 12 seats. Kerala will lose around 11 seats. Andhra and Telangana together will lose around 11 seats. And as a team, 7 states present here will lose a total of 44 seats. So what are the possible threats here? The delimitation would unfairly increase the representation for some states while reducing our current representation, giving undue advantage to few states such as Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh. While the 7 states present here are set to gain 65 seats, the above mentioned 4 states will get additional 150 seats. National policies on agriculture, industries, jobs, regional development could be dictated by a few states, sidelining our needs. The formation of union government would be disproportionately influenced by a few states, significantly weakening the political voice of our states. Therefore, we call this as unfair and unjust move by the union government. This is not just a numbers game, it is a planned attack on non-BJP ruled states to reduce their representation. More seats for states with higher birth rates means our voice in the parliament weakens. If not rewarded, we should at least not be penalized. This move is a direct threat to federal structure. So we must act quickly and we must act together. We must demand on extension of the freeze on Lok Sabha seats based on 1971 census beyond 2026. We must insist that the current proportionate representation of each state in the Lok Sabha be maintained, regardless of whether the number of seats is increased or not. This is not just about any one state. It is about the future of democracy in India. So let us all stand together. Let us raise our voices. Let us fight for a fair delimitation process that protects our representation and ensures justice for future generation. I thank you all again for participating in this significant meeting, and we are looking forward toward your valuable views and suggestions. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
பாதகம் செய்பவரை கண்டால் நாம் பயம் கொள்ளலாகாது பாப்பா. மோதி மிதித்து விடு பாப்பா, அவர் முகத்தில் உமிழ்ந்து விடு பாப்பா. அண்மை செய்திகளை உடனுக்குடன் தெரிந்து கொள்ள இணைந்திருங்கள் எம் நாடு தொலைக்காட்சியுடன்.